Yeah, hello. There's a hardware store selling snow shovels, and the day after a blizzard they raise their prices. Do I think that's fair? And do I prefer haddock or cod? Who is this? In the 1980s, Canadian public bodies were required to offer unemployed people the chance to do 2 or 3 paid hours of work every week. And the Department of Fisheries and Oceans decided to fulfil this obligation by having those people perform telephone interviews. So each week they would phone up people, and the only requirement was that they asked one question about fish. After that, it wouldn't really matter what the questions were about. But to keep the scheme going, they needed a fresh supply of questions each week, and so they turned to psychologists at the local university. And those psychologists started to ask questions like, would you prefer a 100% chance of getting £10 or a 50% chance of getting £20? And would you prefer haddock or cod? The psychologists used answers to these questions to develop something called prospect theory. And prospect theory is illustrated here. So along here we have money. So positive money is money that you have earned, negative money is money that you have lost. And up here is the psychological value of that money. And prospect theory essentially says that if you gain a certain amount, so if you gain £10, it will make you this much happy. But if you lose the same amount, if you lose £10, it will make you this much unhappy. So the psychological downside for losing is greater than the psychological upside for gaining. And this is used to power the gig economy. But before we come on to that, where does this come from? How do you actually figure this sort of thing out? What you can do to test this is invite a bunch of people into a social science lab and split them into 2 and have each group undertake some sort of task. It doesn't matter, but you pay one of the groups, let's say £20 for doing that task. And then later on you invite them to a second part of the experiment where you give them a choice. So the first group, the group that did not earn anything, you say, would you rather have £10 now for sure, or a 10% chance of winning £20? And then the second group, the group that earned £20 already, tell them, would you rather have a £10 loss for sure, or a 10% chance of losing nothing? Now it might not be immediately obvious, but these 2 things are identical. So here you come away with £10. Here you lose 10 of your 20, so you come away with £10. Over here you've got 10% chance of winning £20 or 10% chance of keeping £20. So these 2 things are the same, but how does that get you to prospect theory? Well, all you have to do is repeat it and change the 10%. Make it 20%, make it 30%, make it 40%, and eventually people will switch from the surefire thing to the chance. But if prospect theory is correct, people will switch here first. So they will switch to the chance of losing nothing before they switch to the chance of winning something. And the reason is because people want to avoid losses. Now, companies that operate in the gig economy make use of this principle. It's called loss aversion. And the apps that power these industries will present the freelancers who are the workers in them with missed opportunities. So the app might show a freelancer that they are missing the opportunity to earn £50 from delivering a package from that location to that location. Or you're missing the opportunity to make £70 picking up a passenger there and taking them to some other location. So it's all about you are losing out, and people don't like losing out. There is no social science Nobel Prize, but there is an award for economics that is given out in memory of Alfred Nobel. And one of the psychologists involved in this work, Daniel Kahneman, was awarded that in 2002. Sadly, his research partner Amos Tversky passed away before that. Kahneman and Tversky published some of their work in Science magazine, and I will post a link to their paper down here so that you can have a look. In Kahneman's own words, you will find it surprisingly simple. Have a look and see what you think. Bye-bye.